Okay, so now we're going to work on our tissue paper strips that look a lot like this. And we open them up. They're going to be kind of like grass almost, right? Connected like that. So you take your piece of tissue paper. I've been cutting at this, so it's a little bit shorter now. However you want, whatever side you want to start on, I'm going to try to aim for the longest strip I can, just so I don't have to cut as much. And, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not thinking here. I'm going to fold it in half and keep folding it in half until I feel like it's a nice, reasonable width for me to work with. And I'm going to decide how wide I want my strips. I tend to make mine, you can see this grid is 1 inches. They're 1 inch squares, I mean. I go about 1.5 inches myself, but I wouldn't go less than 1 inch. So you can see they're about 1.5 inches, okay? And then you just can keep cutting those strips up the side. I'm going to put that to the side, you get the idea. Grab that folded strip and sit there and snip, snip, snip. We talked about this in class, but go ahead and maybe even plug in a movie because it is tedious. Just snip, snip, snip all the way along. Can you tell that I'm leaving a nice 1/2 inch at the top? Not sure if I get it close, but you can see I'm not snipping all the way. Okay, so this is kind of like a little hula skirt. And then when it opens up, it's kind of got this little fringe, okay? So you'll sit there and do that to all your strips. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in the laundry room hiding out, and the light bulb in here is, it's an LED that likes to flicker. Okay, so you just go along. You will probably need at least 2 sheets of tissue paper for this part. I had you pack 3, but you never know. I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so like that. Now, we're gonna go ahead, take our piñata, and boy, the video sure gets it up close. So I'm gonna work on the side of the box because I'm gonna have a painted front. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're gonna work with the side of the box to do the tissue paper. And what we're going to do is take our glue and the paintbrush I gave you. And it's just nice if you can paint the glue on. And I'm gonna paint the glue on around the edge. And again, you would pretend that this is this is on there on the side, okay? I think it's best to start from the bottom up because you want the phalanges to lay flat. You know how hair, if you're to have your hair, you would, you know, it parts and it hangs off the side of your head. You want that to be on your piñata. You don't want the hair to hang one way on the side of the head and the hair to then hang like upwards. I'll show you what I mean, but I'd start at the bottom. So you're going to layer, remember we have that kind of margin around the bottom? I'm going to layer like that, and then just slide out of the rip. Next layer, lay it around. Oh, that worked out. Oh, sorry, making you guys seasick, I bet. And rip. And go on top. And if there's any extra hanging thing, just rip it off. And the nice thing about the glue is that you'll notice it likes to soak through that tissue paper, so you can go ahead and kind of pat on it, and then, you know, you can kind of crumple it, but that way it'll be a little bit flippy, you know, flip out a little bit, but it's going to really soak up on the paper. Okay, let's do more. So that was kind of the bottom. I might start from the middle and create my way up and go the other way, turn it over. So now we'll go on the bottom edge. Put more glue. Paint, paint, paint. And just keep going around. And if you see print or something through it, just feel free to kind of layer it again. You don't have to worry about it. I've done it. Okay, this is a good example. Sometimes you have like a little bit, but it's enough that you want to save it. You can go ahead and put it on and then take and just pick up where you left off with the next. See, it doesn't really show. And just keep doing that all the way around, like a little dress. It goes on fairly fast, especially if you've cut your strips. Now I'm kind of running out of glue, so I'm going to add some more with the paintbrush. You see how nice that paintbrush is? It really works. This paintbrush can be cleaned nicely through warm water, and that way you'll have your paintbrush for paint. But I like having some of these paintbrushes for glue. I use them a lot for glue. I just get them at Dollar Tree or someplace like that. Okay, it goes on real smooth. And it starts looking like something straight out of the store, doesn't it? I mean, that looks just like what you can find for $20 at Walmart. Okay, I'm going to use the rest of my glue, and then I'm going to show you the face. Now, once you go ahead and you do that, and you remember you have this edge, see how nasty that is? That's not really pretty. You would go ahead and glue on, we talked about this in class, but you would have a painted detail. Okay, I'm just going to glue on the front of my box. I have a PDF file at the bottom of the website, and it says something like how to decorate a piñata, and in there I have a nicer piñata where I actually painted on a beautiful candy, like a peppermint candy. So that's a way better example, but you get this way, you just get the idea. So you just paint the box, pretend with me that you've made all of that fringe goes all the way to the top and all the way to the other side. Again, I talked about you don't want, let me go over that real quick, I'm sorry. See how they all went in one direction going down like hair? Well, if you started, let's say that you started at the bottom and you went all the way around, by the time you get this way, the hair's going to be upside down. You'd be layering it upside down. So I like to think about it like that, like a parting of hair, where you'd begin at the bottom, layer, 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 stop at the top, come back to the bottom, and layer it so that all that fringe is going to hang down all the way around the box. Okay. Once you've done that, then you can go ahead, remember in class, we made a paper cutout that would match the size of your box. So you'd have a paper overlay. So you can grab that paper overlay. Forgive me, I hacked out a really bad cell phone. So you could then place on top your overlay painted paper, and then that would cover up any of that margin that's nasty looking, and you'll have the look of your piñata. So that's one way to do it. Another way you can do it is, let me pull off my really bad top, is, oh, it's so gluey, sorry about that, is that you could actually go ahead and go with the paper stripping and go all the way around. You know, you can go ahead and layer in the paper over the whole thing. Do all of it, just like you did the side. And you can do all sorts of colors. You know, you can change it in certain areas. It doesn't matter. But then if you want to make eyeballs or something, you could then make those out of paper and glue those on top. Or if you had any kind of detail like a bow tie or I don't know. So those pieces that would be really kind of hard to depict in the furry tissue paper, you can go ahead and just tack those in little pieces onto your overall tissue paper covered thing. You also, if you want to, can skip all this and just plain old paint the box. That works too. There's lots of options, but I think this always looks really nice and rather traditional. I just want to show you how to do that. Okay, again, ask me if you have any questions. Talk to you later.